Lion.
Grizzly bear.
Monster.
Brown bear.
Angry face.
Black bear. Hans.
Unredeemable monster.
Greatest mistake of your life.
Wouldn't even kiss you.
Villain.
Oh.
We all kind of got it.
Okay, Olaf, you're up.
Okay. So much easier now that I can read. Lightning round, boys against girls.
Okay, I'm ready. Go. Unicorn. Ice cream. Castle. Oaken. Teapot. Mouse. Oh, Elsa!
It's our extra butter, extra Frozen 2 special. Idina Menzel, Kristen Bell, Josh Gad, Sterling K. Brown, and the rest drop by to talk about the movie, what to expect, and what song will finally knock Let It Go out of your head. That and more on this extra butter Frozen 2 special, beginning right about now.
Hey, welcome back to Extra Butter, dedicated to all things Frozen 2. Where am I? I'm in here, a frozen house. And you're going, how do I have a frozen house? Well, first of all, you try to be closer to that size. And second of all, you just go to Costco. I'm guessing some assembly required, but you too can have your own frozen house. How cool is that? Along with apparel, there's pretty much all kinds of merch. Let's be honest. One of the most exciting things about a sequel, the merchandise. Back to these two. I caught up with Kristen Bell and Idina Menzel to talk about the movie The Calm Before the Storm. Take a look.
Hi.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
So now you remember, your dad was my boss for a
Of course
decade.
I remember. Yeah.
And one time you said, don't you see him? Don't you see him in me? And from that moment on, now I have to see him in
Imagine
you.
me bald without lashes. We're twins.
So I can do a Tom Bell impression. Give me your best Tom Bell impression.
I can't do that because he's going to be able to look this up. But yes, I do a very good Tom Bell impression.
He's a great man. You're a great human being, probably partially as a result of him.
I would agree. He taught me everything I know about being a good human being.
All right, we got to talk about this movie. This looks amazing. You just dropped the trailer. We heard the roar of the crowd out there.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. It is, it's not the old Frozen. This one, our characters kind of go on this dangerous adventure, very much outside Arendelle, to find answers to the origin of Elsa's magical powers, and they stumble along some problematic things about their past that sort of threaten the kingdom's future.
And you're not fooling around. You didn't want this movie to be made until it was perfect, and I hear it is.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly didn't write it or do all the work, but everyone on the team was like, we have such a responsibility with these characters because they're so meaningful to people. We don't just want this to be episode 2, someone loses their shoes. We really tried to create something that was meaningful within their character development and that will mean a lot to people, hopefully.
It will, and we can't wait. Nice to see you. Thanks. It seems like just yesterday we were sitting at a junket in New York City. I was saying, tell me about this Frozen. What's this Frozen thing? Can you believe what it's become?
Yes, I can. I can because I sit in the room with these incredible artists in that building, in the animation building, and I'm in awe of them every day, and the writers and directors, and they just give us this beautiful platform to play, and the music is so exquisite. I'm just proud to be a part of this. My whole life has changed because of it.
How awesome are they? And how excited must they be that even more Anna and Elsa merch flying off the shelves? Yes, all new Frozen 2 toys. You got some new characters. The Knock. Who doesn't want a horse? You got a horse now. You've got Bruni. Who's Bruni? You're going to have to watch the movie to figure out why the salamander is apart. And, of course, Olaf and Sven. I went behind the scenes with the filmmakers to talk about how excited they are to be doing it all over again. Take a look.
Good to see you guys. Congratulations. Everybody that sits here should just walk in and applaud you and say, you did it. Admit, it's hard to best something like Frozen, so I would not want to be in any of your shoes, for that matter.
Now I find out that. Oh, you're right. No.
Let me tell you what Frozen means to me. The most distributed DVD Blu-ray of all time. And of course, the format's going to go away someday, so it will be forever. On the packaging, it says, an instant classic. This movie will be watched and loved for generations. And I'm the guy that said that. You know, after seeing that movie, it takes Nostradamus to predict that this movie's going to be loved for generations. When did you know that lightning had struck?
I think when all the videos started to happen and everybody was singing the songs and making the movie their own, it was putting it in their own lives. And that was only a few weeks after the movie had come out, and we just went, uh-oh, something's happening here.
Sure. How about you?
For me, I think it was, I was in New York at Christmas and went to see it with a friend, and I hadn't been in the audience for a while, and it was full, and they were not just singing it, but speaking the lines, and I realized these people were coming back. And I remember I called Chris and Peter, I was like, are you experiencing this? And it was, we really didn't expect it, and it's the best kind of surprise in the world.
Right. Peter, you had to green light this, I'm guessing. I don't know the workflow, but at some point, the pressure's on you.
Well, it's on all of us to get together. I mean, we knew that there was more story to tell, and I think we all just looked at each other and said, this is what we want to take on. I think we were slightly naive going into it, what the challenges were. It always comes down to story and characters, and sequels are not easier, but we're really happy to have gone on this journey.
Sure. Well, I just walked out, hours ago. I just walked out of Frozen 2, and people, and I'm talking press, not real people, jaded members of the press are walking out singing the songs, so you've got a new Let It Go on your hands.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, I think what I love is Bobby and Kristen, I think outdid themselves with the music. All the music is different and original, but it's all very Frozen. It shows the evolution of the characters. It does true to their journeys. I think Elsa, you see her growth, you see her before, the rebellion of Let It Go, and now you see the active woman taking on her power, and I'm just so proud of her. And that's through the music. And Anna, my goodness, what Anna goes through, and her beautiful song that I hope is always to show you that just keep taking that next step and never give up.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those movies that makes the world a better place, and I don't mean to pretend that it's not a lot of work, because when I ask you questions, it just represents a lot of work for you guys to make a masterpiece like this. However, there's got to be a moment that makes you more proud than any other. What's your moment down the road?
Oh gosh. I think it is. I think it's connecting with the film, and we've talked about, we've seen and heard a lot of stories from people, and that the film not only they embraced it and loved it, but sometimes it's actually saved lives. And people have been saying, that they're here because of the movie and because of Elsa's journey that's inspired them to keep going. So that's nothing more powerful than that.
I think for me, there's something on this one that the entire crew and cast and songwriters said yes and came back. And in some ways that's its own pressure, but the fact that they had faith and they really were there along the way. Everybody stepped up their game, we threw challenges at them, and they brought us the solutions, and the love that they gave to us, that they gave to these characters, I've never experienced anything like it. So I really have to say that the journey, we were in good hands with everyone that had faith that we could find our way.
They should be very proud. The movie indeed makes the world a better place, and I'm not just saying that because I'm standing in front of some awesome more merch that I found out. Look, Columbia, adult winter wear. It's brought to you by Columbia, so you know it's going to be winter wearable.
And all right, enough of this commercial for the merchandise. But then you're saying, but wait, do they have anything for pets? Yes, they do. Frozen 2 inspired pet sweaters. Literally something for everybody, and in this case, everything. All right, what would Frozen, or Frozen 2 for that matter, be without the music? The music in this movie, remarkable. I'm going to prove it to you. The songwriters and the people who bring you the music and the score next.
Christoph, can I borrow your wagon? And Sven?
I'm not very comfortable with the idea of that.
You are not going alone. Anna? No, I have my powers to protect me. You don't.
Excuse me, I climbed the North Mountain, survived a frozen heart, and saved you from my ex-boyfriend, and I did it all without powers. So, I'm coming.
Me too. I'll drive.
I'll bring the snacks!
I will look after your people.
Please make sure they stay out of the kingdom until we return.
Of course.
Let's let them know.
Anna, I am worried for her. We have always feared Elsa's powers were too much for this world. Now we must pray they are enough.
I won't let anything happen to her.
Hey, welcome back. It is Extra Butter, our half-hour special. And what other show has live music bumping you back in? Woo! From the people who actually provide the songs for the movie. In this case, it's Frozen 2, because we're doing the half-hour special. And Bobby and Kristen, thanks for hanging out with us.
Oh, thanks for having us. We're so happy to be here.
All right, because I know, for the people at home who don't know, who provides the music, the song, the melody, and who provides the lyrics.
It's all about collaboration. I would say I tend to do the bulk of the lyrics. Bobby's the one who sits at the piano, but some of your favorite lines are things that Bobby wrote.
Yeah,
some of your favorite melodies might be things that sprang from me. So,
what I love about this, at the same time, you have the most intense focus group at home to bounce this stuff off of. Talk about that a little bit.
Our kids are often the first to hear any song we write, and we usually, now that they're sort of heading into teenagehood, we're a little scared of their judgment. But and their subtle bullying techniques, but we still play it for them, and if they want to hear it again, that's a good sign that we have something.
If we could spin back to the original Frozen, so you had these little ears listening, going, "I like that Let It Go song," or "That Let It Go song, it's not going to be a hit."
Let It Go was really fun to sing the first time. When we were doing the demo, I kept saying, "Oh, let me do it again."
Right.
And then when we brought it home, the girls wanted to hear it again and again. So we had an inkling, like, maybe there's something here. And we have had that experience with a couple of the songs in Frozen 2 already.
Awesome.
We've been having that familiar feeling of the animators coming up and saying, "I can't stop singing this song." We've had a couple of people now say, "I dreamt it all night long."
I know which songs you're talking about because I've seen the movie. And I love in the movie there's a little nod to Let It Go for a moment in time. But let's talk about that new kind of Let It Go moment. Can you break off a sample?
Sure.
Sure. I think we need to set it up a little.
Okay.
In that it's the reason we did Frozen 2, because there were questions left unanswered.
Yeah, of course.
Why does Elsa have powers? Where does she belong? And there's a voice that's calling her, and she's trying to resist it because it's change. And it has sort of a... It's a haunting kind of cooning sound that's a Norwegian shepherdess kind of sound, but in this case, it's something calling her home. And do you want me to just go? I can hear.
Oh no, we'll want to start from.
Sorry.
This is awesome. I love seeing the sausage being made.
Psych. Sorry.
You play the intro.
Yeah, no, I was vamping.
Where do you want to go?
I've had my adventure.
Okay. I've had my adventure. I don't need something new. I'm afraid of what I'm risking if I follow you into the unknown. Into the unknown. Into the unknown.
By the way, I took the shot to make him think I was singing it there for a moment. You guys are awesome.
Nice.
That song is going to be played so many billions of times worldwide, and congratulations, I'm not worthy to be here.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
Totally
We're not worthy to talk to you.
Oh, for the love. Hey, stick around. Sterling K. Brown tells us why he's in this movie. If not obvious, you're going to find out some secrets behind the scenes as we continue our Frozen 2 special. Can you play us out the break? Back to our half-hour special dedicated to all things Frozen 2. I feel like I'm with royalty right now. This is kind of amazing. I apologize.
You are sort of in a way.
Evan Sterling, if you would, for the people who don't know, tell everybody who you represent in this movie.
I play Queen Idina, Anna and Elsa's mother.
Right, and I'm Lieutenant Destin Matthias, who was a soldier in the grandfather's army of Elsa and Anna.
So you two have a tremendous body of work, but is there a little bit of trepidation going into this, knowing that there's a lot of pressure? A lot of eyes are going to be on this.
Yes, there was this nervous excitement, but at the same time, I feel like I've been prepping for this my whole life because I've been singing Disney songs as far back as I can remember.
Sure.
So I felt ready. I felt really, really ready. It felt right. It still hasn't really hit me, though.
I did not feel ready at all. I haven't sang in a long time, and so just to be invited has been kind of phenomenal. I feel like the pressure is probably most felt by Jennifer and Chris, right?
Maybe.
Because they're the ones that are sort of putting the whole thing together. I just try to show up and play. Like, that's my thing. If I'm having fun, then hopefully that will be felt when people see the final performance.
how cool is it as actors when you do a role, like no matter how many you've done, you're probably looking at lighting and did I hit my mark or which take did they use? But in a process like this, you get to go in and there's a part of you that can discover it like the rest of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get to read a script. I was shown storyboards and I could read my scenes and look at the artwork. But really, seeing the story for the first time, watching the film was incredible.
Complete freedom, man. Yeah. I mean, and they encourage you to play. Like, there's what's on the script, and then like, okay, if you want to make it your own in some kind of way, or what would you think you'd say after this? And they just start improving lines, and you improv back at them. And there's so much fun because you're only reading with Chris and Jen, like the director and the writer. And they're really good actors as well. So I was wondering, will I feel like I miss like not being able to interact with any of the other characters? But they're so present and so engaged that you're like, okay, this works. Yeah. I see why it works now.
And do you have a favorite moment?
In the film?
Yeah. Well, or in life, if there's something you want to draw on it, anything.
I love just Olaf cracks me up
awesome.
so much because he's like becoming conscious and growing up and becoming philosophical and questioning things and like it's just hilarious.
He's
to me.
a sentient snowman.
Yeah, exactly. It's really funny to watch.
I love Jonathan's duet with himself. I think it's absolutely brilliant. He's singing as himself and singing as his reindeer. I've never seen anything that's made me delight even more.
What's weird is so musical and beautiful and silly all at the same time. That moment.
Yeah, that's the Disney way. I mean, you will come out a changed person, like you were saying, feeling empowered and like you want to make the world a better place, but you also have laughed and you were silly and I mean, it's just got all of it.
They don't make medicine movies. They make movies with messages, but they also make movies that move you to laughter and to tears.
Well, this movie makes the world a better place. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks a lot, Mark.
Hey, coming up in a moment, speaking of the aforementioned, do you want to build a snowman? I promise I won't sing to him. You should see them grimacing while I'm singing this after break. Josh Gad joins us next.
Quick question. Is the whole putting us in mortal danger going to be a regular thing?
Enjoying your new permafrost, Olaf?
I'm just living the dream, Anna. Oh, how I wish this could last forever. And yet change mocks us with her beauty.
What's that?
Forgive me, maturity is making me poetic. Tell me, you're older and thus all-knowing. Do you ever worry about the notion that nothing is permanent?
No.
Really? Wow, I can't wait until I'm aged like you so I don't have to worry about important things.
Hey, welcome back to Extra Butter and our half-hour special. We end with not the least, the dudes. Hanging out with Olaf and Christoph in person. Jonathan, Josh, thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right, so you've seen the movie with an audience. You went to the big world premiere. There was a lot of pressure riding on this. Well,
could not be happier. I mean, honestly, the fact is that we went into this with, I did at least, with a lot of reservations of how are we even going to match the first film. And it teaches me a valuable lesson, which is to never question the brilliance of our creative team who knows these characters inside and out and knows that the journey that is the most compelling journey to take them on.
Sure. Now for you, I love everything about this movie, but if I must dissect it, one of my favorite moments in this movie, where if you talk about besting the other movie, this movie, like its audience, has matured. There's a solo performance from you that is among the best musical numbers in any Broadway show or movie musical ever. And it's silly at the same time.
It is, yeah. Honestly, like Bobby and Kristen Lopez cannot write a bad song. They just the music that they wrote for the first movie is incredible, and I think that they've bested themselves in the second movie. And the idea of getting Christoph to sing, I was always confused at how they were going to do that, because they said we really want to in the second movie try to get him to sing, and then they realized that, you know, a lot of straight dudes really lean into those 80s rock ballads to feel themselves.
Not all straight.
To feel themselves. That's true. It goes across the board. But for Christoph, you know, he's like trying to like express his feeling and his love for Anna, and so it's shocking. And every time I've seen the movie, I still can't believe they actually go there with that number. But they go there all the way with
Relentlessly.
Lost in the Woods. Yeah.
And you, my friend, if Olaf were an actor, I guarantee you he would be nominated for the Academy Award for this moment. There's a God, I don't want to plot spoil, but there's a Peter Parker moment in this movie. I don't want to nail it, but I'm just telling you, you got the chops.
Thank you. It was such a beautiful character to have the honor and the privilege of playing, and I think with all of these characters, the idea was, how do we challenge them? How do we grow them? And Olaf has gone from that youthful naivete and that sort of childlike wonderment to the next stage, which is starting to question things that he's always taken for granted. And on this journey of self-discovery, he's challenged with some existential crises that are both funny, but also, I think, really beautifully emotional. And I credit Jen and Chris for allowing us to all play in a different wheelhouse that feels familiar, but at the same time feels like it makes the first film that much richer and makes this film stand out as hopefully a new classic.
It is an instant classic, like the original, you guys. That's all we got for Extra Butter. Thanks for hanging out with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. What's not to subscribe to? What's not to like to? As the credits roll, any parting words?
Go see Frozen 2, November 22nd. You won't regret it, especially because this guy has one of the greatest songs in the history of animation.
That's it.
Thank you. Great to see you.